Alright, today I'm going to be showing you how to do the rear brakes on a 2020 BMW M340i. These are the pads I'm using, Z23 Power Stop brake pads. I really just want to get rid of the brake dust. The BMW pads are really good braking performance, but the brake dust is excessive. From what my experience with these pads, we should be able to match the braking performance or really close to it. This car does not go onto a road course or anything. We do use it for autocross sometimes, so more aggressive driving than probably 95% of people are ever going to do with their car, and I'm still not worried about these pads causing any loss in performance. It comes with all the hardware. We'll obviously replace all that while we're in there, and a little bit of this grease that you can put on all the slides and everything. I will show you all that. I also got the wear sensors front and rear, but most people will be changing their rears first on this specific model. So let's get into it. First thing you're going to want to do is loosen up your lug studs. Just slightly break them loose while the car's still on the ground before you jack it up. Jack it up and then take the wheel off. Okay, so to remove this rear brake, you got to take off the electronic parking brake. There's two bolts, one here, one on the other side here. This electrical connector, which I've already disconnected, is right down in here. To disconnect it, you got to push firmly on the top here like this and then wiggle it out. It's in there pretty good. Get that off and then get your T30. So on this side over here, it looks like it's easier to get an extinction and then run the wrench underneath, and then on this side as well, run the wrench down through here. Just go underneath, and easy enough. Pay attention to the orientation which you took it off. That way when you put it back on, significantly easier. You don't have to try to figure out which way it goes, so just pay attention to how it looks sitting there. That way when you put it back on, you won't struggle trying to find out how it goes on. Okay, so now where we took off that motor, there's the motor right there. We pulled it off, we pulled it out to the side, we wedged it, and what you have is you have an interface now on the back of the caliper that you need to get to. It's right back in here. You can see my fingers on it right now. What you're going to do is take a bit that you can get to fit in there. I got a T40 to work. It didn't fit tight, it didn't fit loose, but it fit enough to where I could get it in there and turn it. It turns easy. There's not a lot of resistance. Turn it clockwise until it stops. And that's very important that you do that, and then you can move on to the next step, which is going to be pulling these bolts out here. So you, as if it was a clock, turn it clockwise until it stops. Okay, so now we have two 14s here. So undo those two 14mm bolts. This one. Screwdriver's too long. That's what she said, huh? Get that piston all the way closed in. Okay, so piston's all the way in. Now we'll take our caliper and we're going to clean all this up really good with soap and water when I'm done. Now the moment of truth. Let's see how bad these pads, oh my gosh, they're not even that bad. Yeah, that's really frustrating. So we're going to take these clips out because we're going to replace these guys. Anyways, what we're going to do now is clean all this up, and then I'll show you how to slide the new pads in. I took these two clips out. I just stuck my screwdriver in there. They pried right out. Here's the new ones that are going to go in. So they just go in like this, but I'm actually not going to put them in yet. I'm just going to clean that up a little first. This brake grease, if you want, you can put a little bit right here where the pad slides in there. Probably a good idea to put a little, but the main stuff this grease is for these slides right here. That's these move in and out. You can see that move in and out slightly. I'm also going to replace these, so I'm going to pull these out, clean all this up, and I'm going to replace those rubber boots with these new rubber boots that came in there. Might as well make it look all new and pretty while we're here. Okay, so sorry, there's a vacuum cleaning crew over there, so got my mic out and hopefully you can hear me. Okay, so I got this pretty well cleaned up. Cleaning it with the water actually did not work well because I forgot I had that motor back there, so I ended up having to be super careful not to get any water splashed around that. Alright, so this side's all done, got it all back together, and I was able to kind of clean everything up. But yeah, went back together really easy. Obviously the motor is, I mean, it's so easy that it's just incredible that how much the dealer charges for this. On the passenger side, it is a repeat of the driver's side, except for you have a wear sensor on this side. So this is what the sensor looks like. This is a new sensor. This side right here goes in. You'll see whenever you take the old one out, it's actually quite simple. You can see this one goes in just like so. Replaces it, runs along. It's got a bunch of little clips that it goes in, so just pay attention. I've already undone. So there's a clip right here, there's a clip right here, and then there's this cover, and you undo it inside of there, and then there's a clip right there. You undo that clip, and that's the sensor. So 1, 2, 3, you can see it's pulled out right there, and then there's another one on the bracket for the motor. Remember, we got to take that motor off, so once you take that motor off, there's a bracket on there as well, and then there's this clip, and then there's this plug, and then you know, you take everything off like you did on the other side, compress the caliper. Once you get the motor turned in, turn it all the way in clockwise, and then spread the caliper. I took a screwdriver and pried it like this until it was all the way off